Have you ever missed the mark when trying to accomplish a goal? I mean, like, really, really, really missed the mark. Like, lost a job, or failed business, or a failed relationship, or for an exam, or, like someone we all know. Have you ever been cut from your high school basketball team? Hello, and welcome to Upcycling Your Upset, renewing and repurposing your mind for success and happiness. I am Anjali Robinson-Partridge, your mindset maverick and success coach. Together, we're going to shapeshift your life. We're about to turn your valley moments into victory and your tears into triumph. So let's get started. When you're unsuccessful in any area of your life, no matter what it is, it can be very impactful. Thoughts of who you really are or what you're really worth come into question. You may say to yourself, how could this have happened to me? What did I do wrong? I'm just not good enough. Feelings of unworthiness and self defeat become your new residence. The battle between what you feel and what's fact has begun with one pivotal moment. But your feelings are fleeting. Emotions are important, so don't get me wrong, but feelings are not fact. And feelings have to be separated from your ability to think and process clearly what the actual events really are or what they really were. First, let's take a look at the difference between upcycling versus recycling. To recycle something is to reuse it as it is, but in order to get something new, we gotta do something new. So we can't just recycle our minds. Upcycling is the process of repurposing, renewing, and reconstructing something. This is a necessary process to reach your destiny to greatness and happiness. But how are we going to get to the other side of this misfortunate series of events? Well, let's take a look. So, here's my certificate of failure. So, before we go any further, let me share my personal journey that led me to the discovery of the concepts that I'm going to share with you. In 2003, I went to graduate school to become a family nurse practitioner. So that requires that I need to pass like this national certification in order to practice medicine. But between life and working, studying for my certification exam, kind of sort of fell by the wayside. I waited 5 years after graduating and then I decided to take the exam. But I failed it. Again, life happened and time went on. I started working more and just didn't have a lot of time. I watched others live out my dream. I took residence in the valley and depths of doubt and defeat. Through the negative thoughts about myself in 7 years after failing the first time, yeah, I tried again. And just like always, I failed once again. This time by 7 points. I was mad, I was hurt, upset, and discouraged. But I knew that this was something I wanted to do, so I had to decide what it was I was going to do about this. So I had a couple options. I could study again, I could try again, or I could just quit. Well, I knew what it was to quit and fail, so I just decided to try again. The other thing I had to do was own what I had missed. After all, you can't fix what you won't face. Accountability can be a hard part of not being successful at something, but it is necessary so that we can assess the areas that lead us down this road. We have to try to figure out how did we get here. So I called myself to the carpet. I called myself into question and I asked me, did I do my best? Did I give it my all? Did I prepare myself for the journey? Was I as committed to passing as I was to not studying? Or was I more committed to like staying on the couch or not making most of my study time? Where was my commitment? So after pressing Control Alt Delete on my thoughts, focus, plans, and goals, I got right back to studying the very next day after I failed. I made a commitment to myself that this time it had to be done and done right. I threw away all my old notes and all my study materials, and I had to start all over fresh. My slate was clean. I had a plan of attack and I was ready to get back to it. But it all began with a hard reset of my mind, my focus, my thoughts, my words, my plans, my vision, and my goal. because I was doing it this time. Again. Using all the tools I already had within me, I reached my goal and passed my certification test. I am now a nationally board certified family nurse practitioner. Yep, after 12 years of being out of school and 2 failures, and all of my doubt, and all of my fear, and all of my feelings, I actually passed my test. But it all began with a mindset reset and all the concepts that I want to share with you. I am proof that what I am about to tell you actually works. You can meet your goals, you can live your dream, and you can be happy. Now, there are few books out there on the market about your mind and your thoughts, and you might have read them or heard of them. An interesting read is Carol Dweck's book on the concept of growth mindset versus fixed mindset. A sort of Yoda versus Darth Vader battle of the minds, if you will, wherein Yoda is an example of the growth mindset and Darth Vader being the fixed mindset. A lot of what we perceive as fact is actually fiction in the growth concept of the reality of the events that happen to us, but largely in part what happens within us. Thoughts become words, words become actions, and actions become evidence. For example, if you're sitting, the chair that you're sitting in was a thought, then a word or a plan, and then an action or some work was put into it. And finally, the thought became a chair. You'll see exactly what I'm saying in just a moment. Another great book states that we are transformed by the renewal of our mind so that we can receive good and acceptable things. If whatever it is you're thinking about hurts, then it'll hurt when you hold it. So what are some things that keep us trapped in the realm of stinking thinking? Here's just a few. The big one. Fear. Fear, I believe, is the greatest of all dream killers. Fear of not being good enough, the goal or dream not being meant for you, not having any support, lack of finances, being told that you're too old, it's too late. One of the most profound negative forces that affect our prosperity is other people's opinions. What will they say? I might offend them. But think on this for just a minute. If your goals or plans do not offend anyone, examine if they're worth pursuing. In other words, your goal may offend someone, but it's not theirs, it's yours. Fear brings its friends along for the ride of despair. So fear brings with it some friends. Anxiety, stress, panic, hopelessness, anger, frustration, and disillusion are all on board as you spiral down this proverbial rabbit hole of fear. It's like being afraid of a bear in a picture before you actually see the bear face to face in the woods. So why not prepare for the moment when you actually meet this bear face to face instead of being a coward in the shell of shutdown and living in your mind full of fearful fury? It's time to do a hard reset of your mind so we can conquer this bear and whatever your bear may be. So take a moment, like the next 10 seconds, and think about what thing you are most afraid of. 5 seconds left. All right, so now that you will know what it is, let's go ahead and figure out how we're going to conquer this. Let's move on. You have to focus your mind on what you want. Oftentimes we get anxious because we're not centered. When this happens, we have to recognize that this is happening to us and remember to breathe through it. Gather yourself. The root of most anxiety is lack of preparation. Your thoughts. Take a step back and look at the situation for what it is. As I said before, emotions are real, but don't let them dictate your destiny. If you're scared, okay, do it scared, but Lord, do it anyway. Fear has another friend that appears in the landfill of our thoughts, and that, my friend, is failures. So in the beginning, I told you all about mine, but failures can happen in a number of ways. For me, it was the certification exam, but for some, it may be some other area. However, failure is not always as bad as it seems. After all, you know me because of mine. So failing, I think, is like falling. I get to choose whether or not I'm going to get back up, whether I'm going to stay down. But then there's some work to do if you just decide to get back on board. So it's a process that only you can do, though. So the question becomes, how bad do you want what you said you wanted? Are you willing to commit to it? Are you willing to fight for it? Michael Jordan once said, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something. But what I can't accept is not trying. See, you can change the destination of your life with deciding to do and see things differently. You just have to decide to. In the process of upcycling your upset, you have to gain control, alter a few things, and delete your feelings and thoughts of the event or events of the past so that you're able to press forward into your victories. Upcycling your mind requires a few steps, but your commitment and dedication to changing your mind is a non-negotiable. One of the first steps in doing this mind shift is what I call getting in the zone or having the racehorse mentality. See, horses wear blinders during a race to keep them focused, and like many of us, they're easily distracted. You are headed for success, but you cannot be distracted. Use your blinders to keep you focused and in the race. Don't be distracted by anything or anyone that poses a threat towards you crossing the finish line. As a matter of fact, take a brief look back at anything that has threatened your path to happiness. Assess those things, but quickly return to your reset mindset status. Don't stay stuck, because this is a process of reflection, not resonance. You are powerful, and you have control of what you are about to do. You have decided to alter your mind and clear your mental mantle of your past mistakes to make room for your future victories. Let's put our blinders on. So, refocusing is an essential step towards fulfilling your goals and being happy. As I said before, put your blinders on and adopt a no matter what mantra to keep you in line. Refreshing and renewal are part of the upcycling process, as this is where the clean slate is. This is where you get to put your new stuff. This is where, as I like to say, you birth your baby. Where does upcycling begin? The process begins with your thoughts, your words, your vision or goals, your plans or your strategies. Notice that it's a process, not a magic trick. Upcycling anything is not instant. It involves work, your work. I say that again so that we keep ourselves in view and not others. It's very easy to say that we didn't do something or we're not something because of external factors or other people, but the goal of our work, the goal of your work, is to start where it counts the most, and that's on the inside. Do the work to change, and you will see the change that you seek. Let's begin with your thoughts. Earlier we said that thoughts become words, that become actions, that become your now. So what are you thinking about? Are you still thinking about that job loss or relationship that didn't go as you had planned? Are you thinking in a mind that will nurture your goals, or are you asking a rose to grow from concrete? Think about what you're thinking about and commit your thoughts to new things, good things that you want to see. As you think it, you will say it, then you'll see it. Take a moment and think one thought about your dream or goal. Now say what you're thinking about out loud and add this phrase, and that's just the way I want it. So I'll show you how. For example, I would say this: I'm going to be a family nurse practitioner, and that's just the way I want it. So now it's your turn. If it's not the way you want it, then don't think of it that way. So you don't say it that way, and then you get something that you didn't want, all because your thoughts didn't match what you wanted. Stop mulling over what didn't happen and make something new happen. So again, take about 10 seconds and think one thought about your dream or goal. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to lose some weight? Do you want to start back exercising? Do you want to make a team? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to pass the test? What is one thought about your dream or goal? Take 5 seconds. And then don't forget to add on to it. And that's just the way I want it. All right. Moving on. A good book that I read put it this way: but this one thing that I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. Keep this in mind. You cannot catch your future holding on to your past. Memories and feelings from the past will hold you hostage in the rut of wrong thinking. Admit and forget your past and move forward. It is time to upcycle your thoughts and move on. In doing this, you move towards the future and know that it may require that you start over. And that's okay too. Because starting over does not mean that the game is over. Oftentimes we self-eliminate before we can even start. Just like my friend Mario right here. You have a few options. Once you continue, if you want to continue in the game, you can. But you got to admit your part in the undesirable outcome. You can revise your strategy and move on, or you can save the memories of failure and bask in what might have been and quit. Either way, you get to choose. So why not choose to continue? Choosing to press towards your happiness, your goal, your prize requires that you erase the past. You have to be willing to disregard the thoughts of what went wrong, face it, fix it, and forget it. Maybe for you it's a new business plan, a new workout plan, a new blueprint for your success. As a matter of fact, this is a great opportunity for you to fail again, but this time, fail to become mindful of the past, meaning forget about it. You have work to do on your future. Now let's take a look at our words. Your mouth, I believe, is the birth canal through which your dreams become a reality. We have the ability to speak out of our mouths positive things or negative things. But let's recall that the first step that we took was to refresh our thoughts. And our thoughts become words. So when we speak words that don't look like what we want, let's consider the two in conjunction. So in CPR, we give a patient mouth to mouth. So if I'm resuscitating a victim, they need me to breathe air into them. Your dream, your goal, your happiness, they all need you to breathe life into them. So do that. Revive your dream. Revive your goal. Revive your happiness. Bring it back to life. Upcycling requires another key concept, and that is what words we choose to use. Take, for example, the word try. Erase it from your word bank. To try suggests that something strains the powers of your endurance or self-control, therefore allowing you an out when it gets too hard. Oh, but consider the word do. Get back up and do it again. So there's a saying, you are what you eat. So why not consider that you will see what you say? One of the greatest examples of this is Muhammad Ali. Proclaiming that he was the greatest and the prettiest, he said it until we all saw it. But more importantly, he said it so much even his opponents were shaken before they met him in the ring. Because you see, when you say a thing, it makes it so. Not just to you, but to anyone else that hears it. Boldly and loudly he would proclaim, I am the greatest. That's psychological warfare. If you heard it, you believed it. So what are some of your I am statements that you're saying? If it doesn't look like what you want, then you have to be able to change that. Even if you don't feel it, and again, your feelings are fleeting. If you don't feel it, just say it until you see it. So say this: I am courageous. I am unstoppable. I am bold. I am brave. And if you want to, you can go ahead and say, I am the greatest. Right now, you may be saying to yourself, yeah, but my business is not there like theirs. And oh, I've tried that and I've tried this and it's still not changing. A new word to use is yet, meaning nevertheless, in spite of, whatever your that may be. So as you move forward to upcycle your upset, a nevertheless attitude has to be your new normal. Yeah, I failed my exam. Nevertheless, I will take it again. So for me, my statement was, I haven't passed yet. Try saying, I don't know how to do this yet. My business is not what it should be or could be yet. I don't get this concept yet. This hasn't changed yet. Yet is the gateway to happiness and prosperity. So not only are your thoughts and your words about to change, your vision is important to this process. By definition, a vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with wisdom. This is your opportunity to create a plan. So, what's your plan? Only you know what will work for you on your way to success. But because you'll have an upcycle thought process and new words to say, the path to a plan is cleared for you. Renew your vision though, and don't be afraid. It may not be the one you had in mind, but that other one was the one from your old way of thinking, and that didn't quite work. So let's use our new way of thinking and our new words and develop a new vision, a new plan. Plan it out. Sir Winston Churchill once said that he who fails to plan plans to fail. And that's true. The soldiers don't go to war without a strategy or without a plan of attack. If you do that, you lose the battle. You're in a fight for your dreams, goals, happiness, and you have to win. One of my favorite sports is basketball. Defensive plays are the key to winning the game. When there's any threat to a team's victory, they change their play in order to win. They make the plan in the huddle, but before they break to go back into the game, they say their focus word. For example, some teams say defense when they break the huddle, because that is their plan of attack. Refreshing and renewal of your defensive plan positions you to win. No matter what, no matter how hard it gets, because it's going to get hard, no matter how afraid you get, because you will have moments when you're not quite sure if you're doing the right thing, if this is the right time. No matter who doesn't support your vision, you have to keep going. There is power in your pressing. Use the fire from the passion of your dream and press on. You have to make this happen. Now, you have a few tools in your arsenal, a few weapons of warfare to propel you to your next level of success. So remember, this is your race, run it at your pace, but stay in your lane. Meaning use your new tools and stick to what you learn. And by all accounts, stay focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. And every now and then, you might have to encourage yourself along the way. So repeat after me. I can, I will, end of story. I am Robinson-Partridge, and this has been Upcycling Your Upset, renewing and repurposing your mind for success and happiness. Thanks.